Hello there. Today I'm talking to you about our major in media, film and television. This can be coupled with lots of other interesting majors, including communication, English, politics and sociology, but there's lots more. Today I'm just going to talk to you about why I feel studying the media is important. We live in a world in which media completely surround us. We are immersed in media. We no longer simply live and work with media. It feels like we're sort of almost inside them, completely surrounded. Our everyday life is constantly mediated by technological devices, particularly the smartphone. If you're a parent, just think about your child, how much they use their smartphone to operate within the world, both in terms of work and social life, and all kinds of media consumption. The mobile phone or the smartphone is now like an extension of ourself. All right. So if we don't understand the processes within the media world in which we are immersed, we are at a serious disadvantage. So what we're particularly interested in the major is to explore our use of media in everyday life, but to also understand the social and professional practices that take place around the media. We're also interested in global media institutions. There are just a few very large corporations that now dominate our media sphere globally, and it's important for us as citizens that we understand those, because we need to be critically aware of these institutions if we are to maintain and sustain our democracy. We're also interested in how people use media, so media audiences. If you're not familiar with how people use media and audiences react to media messaging, then you will be at a disadvantage in the world of work. It's really crucial that we understand how messages are distributed, how people understand them, how people make sense of them. We focus on new technologies and digital communication, but we also look at traditional media forms such as TV and film. TV, as you know, is going through a renaissance at the moment, particularly with platforms like Netflix. So these traditional forms remain very, very important for our media environment. We also look at the centrality of social media, and we look at the way we use social media personally and professionally. In that sense, we also look at what we might call micromedia. That's how we use GIFs, emojis, and memes to communicate and distribute our media messages. This is almost a new form of communication that I think is really crucial for us to understand, again, both personally but also professionally. We also take the approach that media are carriers of stories. Stories are still really, really important to us. Stories help us make sense of who we are, where we are, and where we might want to go. And because media are the repository of the largest number of stories, the main sort of agents for storytelling, if we don't understand the stories that the media are telling us, then we won't be able to function as well as citizens and workers. So the storytelling on media is absolutely crucial. So in this sense, we take a critical approach to media. That means we take media apart very much like a mechanic to find out how they work, what messages are being circulated on them. So we study media institutions, but we also study texts, contexts, and the technological framework and the machinery of media. When I say text, we're talking about the content of television and film. This is really important because, again, going back to the idea of storytelling, these represent our world. They also represent ourselves. They represent nationality, gender, ethnicity, religion, sexuality, all of these kinds of stuff. And they're also linked to questions of power. So we're interested in who's doing the representing, who is being represented, how are they being represented. This is all again crucial, not only for our personal and professional life, but also for our life as citizens. We're also interested in the local and the global. So we're interested in how New Zealand sits within the Pacific region and how that also works within the global frame. This is a major very much also for fans and enthusiasts of media forms and genres. So if you like watching TV, if you love films, if you're fascinated by social media, then this is the course for you. We're also interested in contemporary things like fake news. This sort of began in 2014 with Craig Silverman on BuzzFeed writing about fake news stories being circulated. But since the Trump transition team picked it up in 2017, it's come to mean something quite different, a kind of dismissive, pejorative term for any story that you don't like, that doesn't fit with your worldview. You just call it sort of fake news. So understanding the power relations here is very, very important. We're also increasingly trying to get our students to think about the development of mediated environments through what we call ubiquitous media. This is where we put computation increasingly in the real world. We don't use a computer to go into cyberspace. Increasingly, cyberspace is going to come into and be sprinkled around the real world. And so this is the new paradigm of media and media studies that we're trying to prepare our students for. You'll start off in year one by studying Comms 100, Communication, Technology and Culture, Comms 104, Advertising and Society, and Media 101, Film and Television Studies. These basically set you up and provide you with the groundwork for the courses you'll take in stages 2 and 3. The content ranges from everything from Hollywood, action films, horror, how audiences use television. We have specific courses on video games, another course on comics as a form of media, and there are a couple of courses on popular music. So there's a whole range of interests there, and you can supplement this by taking other elective courses from outside the major. Careers will include film and television production and distribution, television production management, media research, advertising and marketing and public relations. Content writing is increasingly something our students are moving towards. Curating and archiving, publishing and journalism, public policy, web-based businesses and corporate media skills are part of what we teach. It also fits with things like events management and coordination, but also it's something you could take into the teaching world yourself if you wanted to become a teacher. But as I say, there isn't a corporation, an institution, a charity that doesn't have a kind of a media arm. So if you have a very thorough understanding of how media work, you'll be at a major advantage. So anyway, I hope you can come and join us. Maybe we'll see you next year. Thank you very much. Bye.